Long time no see, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome to, if you can see the new logo, it's just Jen After Dark. I'm so sorry that I haven't been able to ah, correspond with you guys. I've been, well, not correspond, entertain you. I have been posting community posts. I had a couple of days of hiatus on my ex account because I was at bird jail for some BS from a long time ago. I guess they're going retroactive when it comes to, Linda Vacacaro going on one of her rants and, pushing censorship of conservative voices. So I spent a couple days in bird jail. Then they finally gave me the opportunity to delete the tweet. I didn't necessarily care about it. I was just trying to prove a point, anyways. But whatever. Regardless. Hello. Hi. Oh, you unsubscribed. Yay. And you couldn't just go without saying so. You had to virtue signal, like, I just unsubscribed to you. Cool. Would you like a cookie? I don't understand why people these days feel the need to go, oh, well, I'm going to unsubscribe. Ugh. Do you honestly think that I give a shit if you unsubscribe because my views and yours don't align? I don't. You're free to think however you want to. Okay. If you want to subscribe, that's up to you. I don't force people to press that button. And best believe we have a gaggle of people here that would 100% stay here because we're like minded people and we just want the best for not only our country and our children, but our fucking world. Okay. So quit virtue signaling. If you're going to bow out, go ahead and do it without even saying anything. Sometimes less is more. Okay. Especially when it comes to that bullshit. All right. All right. So I'm sorry that I haven't been able to entertain you guys. It has been a busy few weeks. I had some family get together, some appointments. I'm homeschooling now. So it's like, oh, holy crap. I do respect educators. I do. I respect that they work for a living to educate our kids. And you would hope for that. You would hope that they are going to the schools and doing what's right for the children and leaving their politics behind. Apparently, these days it's cool or trendy to bring your political views and or your problems into the workplace. And when you do that, well, you take education out of the mix and you add in what's known as indoctrination. And judging by the now 3 times that I have been, no, I'm sorry, this was my second school board meeting. I gotta correct myself. This was my second time going. Due to I was giving them the benefit of the doubt. I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me go a couple of times and just to get the gist of it, just to see for myself how these school board members are behaving. Are they able to put their politics beside and or aside and do what's best for our kids? Well, unfortunately, no. And the more I go, the more I see that there are only 2 people on that school board that are willing to say, you know what, this is about an education and giving these kids a better education. Now, when you introduce, and let me just stop and go back for a second here. Do you want to know how many times I wish I had a dollar for every time I heard we have to be inclusive or we have to be all inclusive, and I'm over here going, gee, I wish we could go back to the days where all inclusive just meant when you travel, you go to a resort and it's all included in the price of your thing. I'll bring that down, please. And so I heard inclusivity, and we need to be all inclusive. I heard all of that so many freaking times. If I had a buck for every time I heard it last night, I'd be fat pockets. So when you're putting DEI and this Marxist ideology, this wokeness that I think it's Marxism, period dot. It's no longer, hey, let's just push a little bit of progressiveness in here, some DEI, some CRT. No, it's straight up Marxism. Because anytime the two ladies brought up really good points, the other three had all sorts of leftist trigger words to say. They're talking in circles. They're taking words out of context, making up their own shit, and just adding that leftist liberal bull crap that you can spot it a mile away, right? So you add in DEI, some CRT, you sprinkle a little bit of woke liberal curriculum in there that the taxpayers are paying for. Hence that pissed off parent and or taxpayer. You add a bunch of that in and you get what's known as indoctrination. You're cherry picking, right? You're cherry picking and you're putting a little bit of this in there, a little bit of that in there, and what they're neglecting to realize that with the inclusivity of that small amount of kids in the district, you are excluding the majority of them. So when there comes, it's so hypocritical, just so you know. Inclusivity is actually excluding everybody else who ain't messed up in the head. And I brought up that point last night, and I want to highlight a couple of people that spoke last night. Um, I was shocked to find out when I got there, right? I got there and got to congregating and what's nots, and in walks in, no shit, you guys, a doppelganger of E. Jean Carroll. And when I show you the clip, you're going to be like, oh. So, of course, when she goes up to speak about the books, you know, of course, she spins it and makes it absolutely no sense. She sounds like her. She looks like her. And I swore, like, when did E. Jean Carroll move here? Because if that's the case, great. Here we go. Another one. Thank you guys so much for coming. I really appreciate. Here we are. Now, this woman here, her name is Peg, and Peg has been in the education system in this school district for decades. I'm talking 3 of them, and over 30 years. And she was one of the people that was responsible for purchasing books for our kids, right? The children of the district. After COVID, they got rid of PEG, which was the stupidest move that they could have ever made. And they hired in a progressive leftist woke idiot named Lisa Ford. Okay. And so Lisa, of course, buys a bunch of pornography for the kids and a bunch of gender ideologies and blah, 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 blah. Well, the woke school board members, guess what? They approved him. So who's the lesser of two evils here? The bitch that bought the books or the bitches that approved it? It's kind of you know. But anyways, I want you guys to say hello to Peg because she is by far the most organized, like, I'm gonna get you, sucker, that I've ever seen. Like this woman, man, her intellect and her skills on documenting shit, man, is amazing. So Peg, welcome. I wish I could have her on, but she's like, I'm camera shy. I don't know why. She's great. So thank you for coming. Thank you so much. Oh, this JJ, I'm so great. I'm grateful that you that you brought this up. Now, if you've been watching the Trump rallies, right? Religiously, unlike RSBN, I'm not saying like giving them a promo. I am because I love Right Side Broadcasting Network. If you listen to his rallies over and over and over again, towards the end of his rallies, actually, where he saves the best for last, he says, I will not give 1 penny to any school that pushes woke ideology, transgender ideology, none of that stuff. So these people are literally shitting bricks right now because once Trump gets in there, their goose is cooked. Now, today, supposedly, policy went into effect where the House Republicans for the Ohio state, they had vetoed Mike DeWine's veto of allowing boys into the girls' bathrooms and or locker rooms. Okay. And so the House Republicans were like, I don't think so, Rhino, D. Rhino. And so that goes into effect today. I noticed the wokest of woke school board member shitting her pants and being so very mad about that. "Oh, we can't let a dick into the girls' bathroom." And I'm over here going, my wheels are turning. I want to say stuff so bad, so I have to save it for here. I'm thinking to myself, you know, you may not be against a bunch of dicks in the bathroom. Have a little flashback, do you, ho ho? But we parents over here and the girls that you tell to go to the nurses' bathrooms if they don't like it, they don't like dicks in the bathrooms. You do though. I know you do. But anyways, I got a bunch of clips here, but I want to show you E. Jean Carroll first because I about shit my pants and I clipped her name and address out of there because unfortunately sometimes when you fill out your form to speak at the school board meetings they actually say your name and full address. So I clipped that out of there because I don't want any, harm to come of her or anybody to dox her or anything else like that. We do have to be mindful of that, especially this day and age. And although I can't stand the woman after seeing her for literally 3 seconds and hearing her for 3 minutes, I'm over here like, I'll do you a favor. Now the people on the school board, your public officials, man, yo shit out of luck. All right, let's roll the tape, shall we? I just want to. I can't fucking believe this, man. It's so crazy. Uh there's a huge difference. I like how you said this too, Alex. There's a huge difference between a transsexual like Buck Angel, Scott Nugent, and Blair White. Okay. And there's a couple of them that are really like the offensive tranny and stuff like that. They're like very vocal about being transsexual. And then that fine line of the autogonophilias, right? The autogonophiliacs that are they get off. That's their kink. They get off on you having to call them ma'am and all of this, that, and the other, right? They get off on you perceiving them as a woman. Okay. And if you have to use those she, her pronouns and stuff, they love that. They get their jollies off with that. It's a fetish, it's a kink. If you need an example of who's got autogonophilia, Will Leah Thomas, the one that swam in the with Riley Gaines and the people at University of Pennsylvania. That cat hair in my damn nose. All right, so yeah, I like that you brought that up, Alex. So thank you so much. All right, let's see, man. Sarah, you bone with an apple. Now you got a banana. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. You guys, I do have a real quick sponsorship. I want to get out of the way first. It's like literally 2 seconds of your time. It won't kill you. I promise. I'm just going to show you the website and give you my promo code and put it on the screen. There's that. Let's to put the ticker up really quickly. I have to give a big shout out to Mike Lindell and My Pillow for doing this for me. I really do appreciate you guys. Now, if you go to www.mypillow.com and you use promo code JustJen, it's scrolling down on the bottom of the screen. You will get an automatic discount. Look at this already. If you already put my promo code in or use my website down there on the bottom, you will get an automatic fat ass discount. So thank you, My Pillow. You guys are amazing. Keep doing what you're doing, Mike Lindell. All right. E. Jean Carroll. I couldn't. I was about to shit my like shit bricks when I saw this woman's. I was like, please God, tell me that this bitch is not in our city. But man, you'd be surprised. So this is your YouTube channel. It's Men Are Cardinals TV. If you want to watch this debauchery. I mean, the school board meeting this time only ran about 4 hours. Last time was over 5. All right, so watch this and tell me if you guys get E. Jean Carroll. Then I'm going to introduce everybody on this panel.
Madam President, members of the board, Mr. Heath, Mr. Wade, thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening.
All right, y'all. Tell me that ain't E. Jean Carroll. Tell me that ain't E. Jean Carroll. I'm gonna back it up a sliver here, okay? And I'm gonna play my friend, my girl Mackenzie here. She goes on before E. Jean here. One more time. One more time. E. Jean Carroll watches. Listen.
Madam President, members of the board, Mr. Heath, Mr. Wade, thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. I was unable to attend the March meeting, but I
Boo hoo.
watched it on the school's channel, and I appreciate you having that on so that we can watch it. I was impressed with the suggestion to further refine the policy on checking out books from the school library. The idea of 3 levels of parental permission makes so much sense.
You know what makes even more sense, E. Jean? You know what makes even more sense? I'm going to tell you. Not putting those kind of sexually suggestive books in the schools in the first place. Did any one of you leftards think about that? No, of course not, because you're perfectly content with pushing pornography to minors, which is a crime. Does she not say, I got to get your comments because did you guys get the same? Did you get the same? Hi, Queen Bee, did you see? You see her? Am I tripping? I think she sounds like Eugene Carroll and she looks just like her. Please, somebody tell me if I'm wrong because I should put
First
up a
of
clip.
all, it allows complete control of books being checked out to the parents who desire that level of involvement. And second, it will
What kind of parent desires putting pornography in the hands of their child? Biden voters.
allow the administration to better spend their time on issues that pertain to all students instead of reviewing books.
Oh, because reviewing books with pornography is not important at all. Good to know. I will not be letting my children walk anywhere near your house.
That is better done by the parent for their particular child than for the district as a whole and takes up a great deal of time.
Well,
Much sense.
you know.
First of all, it allows complete control of books being checked out to the parents who desire that level of involvement.
All right, I skip back. Now, wouldn't it be less time consuming to just take the books out and put them in a restricted section and or put them at the public library, and if you want to check out some porn for your kids, go right ahead, perverts.
And second, it will allow the administration to better spend their time on issues that pertain to all students instead of reviewing books. That is better done by the parent for their particular child.
How about this? If we're paying tax dollars and supporting levies that increase our taxes, how about you don't put pornography in schools? Is that too much to ask? You bunch of pedos.
Than for the district as a whole and
Eugene
takes up
Carroll.
a great deal of time of the superintendent.
Oh, really? Because Peg sent me a really nice clip today, and I'm going to share it with you. It's about a 13-second clip, and he's over it. He says, I can't do this shit no more, man. He ain't got what it takes. He ain't cut out for this shit, but he stays there because why? The money's good. I guarantee you he makes about $400,000 a year. It sickens me. I want to get their wages and I want to see exactly how much they make.
But best of all, in a year where there's been so much division among the board, it is an idea that all 5 members seem to be behind.
Hello, Auntie.
Maybe this will be the start of many new ideas supported by the entire board. I know there are many issues that all 5 of you agree on to make our school system better. And since
I
this is
agree.
National Library Week, this is a great time to be working on books. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, no, thank you. No, thank you, Eugene Carroll. When I saw this lady, I was like, oh, and I said, Eugene Carroll, look, y'all, sometimes I don't have a filter and it just comes out. But if you guys know, I do have ADD and a little bit of dyslexia, and I'm claiming that I have a Tourette's, a little bit of Tourette's in there. Can't discriminate against me. So I want to rewind it and play my girl here. I actually uploaded it to my channel last night, and I titled it "Woman Goes Scorched Earth" on the school board. Now, she spoke again at this meeting. However, interestingly enough, well, there was a woman speaking about sexual education in the schools and bringing up some really good points. I wish I had taped her myself. But interestingly enough, the feed on YouTube here, well, it cut her speech, well, by a quarter, not even. She was able to speak for all of maybe 10 seconds and cut her whole speech, and then almost all of my friend Mackenzie's speech. It's really odd. I'll show you guys. It was really I questioned it. I was like, why did they clip this out? Because it's extremely important. It's about the sex ed curriculum, right? And I can't for the life of me remember everything that she had said. And it does a great disservice when you're taking stuff like that out of this video. I don't know what happened. I'm still waiting on answers, right? In case you missed that, let me see here. I want to show you guys a couple of people that I really want to highlight, and I really do want to thank Peg, Jacqueline, who else spoke? Susan. There was a gentleman at the end. I forgot what Dean, I believe his name was. Who else spoke? There was a couple other people that spoke. Mackenzie, of course. I want to thank everybody that did stand up and say something because unfortunately they're going to keep getting away with this stuff if we, keep allowing this type of thing to happen. Now, I was so angry last night, but also so tired. So I didn't get to clip all of this stuff last night. Okay. And I wanted to so bad, but you guys, when it's like 12:30 at night and after midnight, I'm telling you, I'm like, ugh, I'm done. I'm absolutely done. So maybe I should just show you guys again Mackenzie's speech. Um, it I had to go after E. Jean Carroll, okay? And what really sucks is, all right, I just got her address and stuff clipped out. What Mackenzie had said. She read an excerpt from The Bluest Eye, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if this is the book or if it's Empire of the Storm or something, but it's a book that had been challenged. And of course, it's still in the schools for the kids, right, to grab, right? The physical reaction and emotional reaction that I had. And I found out there's more than just fight or flight. There's like fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. And I didn't know that. Like, I had no idea. But I freeze. And when I'm speaking, I couldn't even like get words out for the first couple of seconds. I was like, oh my God, my dog's having puppy dreams back there. This dog doesn't leave my side lately. I'll tell you guys. All right, let me play this here. It's just unbelievable that we even have to do this, you guys. It's unbelievable. It doesn't make any sense to me. All right. Thank you guys for joining me, by the way. Oh, let me do some introductions. This man right here on the right of your screen is the superintendent. His name is Craig Heath. This man is Bill Wade. He is the chief financial officer for Mentor Public Schools. Skip on over here to it's Madam Secretary Maggie Cook. She is also an educator in the Chardon schools, and they don't play that woke shit in that district, which is literally 15 minutes away. But she comes here to do it here. Make that make sense. Next to Maggie Cook is Jeannie Jesseling. She is the vice president of the school board, and she does whatever Maggie here says and this peach here on the end says. So 1, 2, 3. No matter what these three say, this goonie over here thinks, well, gee, my job is at stake. That probably about $300,000 to $400,000 that he gets per year. He is not going to let that go. He's going to roll with whatever these three wicked witches of the West, well, Northeast, this one here, and that one there, whatever they say, because majority rules. And if he does not rule with the wicked witches of the Northeast, his ass is canned. They will get rid of him. Uh, these two lovely ladies in the middle of this, whatever the fuck you want to call it, this lady here with the glasses on and the dark hair is Annie Payne. Now, she is an amazing mother. She actually homeschools her children because she will not send her kids into the mentor schools. Now, what does that say about mentor public schools when your own school board member refuses to send her children to your schools? I think that speaks volumes, don't you? Next to Annie is Rose, and ain't she one? She is absolutely a beautiful, yeah, and just amazing woman, and even better mother. Her name is Rose Iapolo. Now, these two here ran together, okay, ran against one another, and we got one level-headed, common sense having, concerned parent, loving parent. And then we got the wokest of them all. Well, the actual wokest of them all didn't make the cut, thank God. The self proclaimed witch. We got Lauren Marchaza here on the end. And yeah, I don't have enough good things to say about Rose here and Annie, these two ladies right here. However, these 3 and 4 can suck it. Absolutely. All right. Here's Mackenzie's. This is very hard. If you didn't watch the upload, please know that this is for educational purposes only. And this is going to be graphic. Oh, cool. Thanks, bud.
Good evening. I am taken back by the books that you all have approved. And I was not at the last meeting, and I am about to read again some of the excerpts and some of the things that people have said that, oh, it's great for counseling.
Yep.
And people can,
we'll talk about
or
that.
if it happened to these children, they'll feel free to talk about it. No, you feel free to talk about it to a counselor or a professional.
All right, let me stop right there. Now, Mackenzie brings up a very valid point because their argument is, well, we need this type of material in school because maybe, just maybe, a kid who's gone through that will then say something. No, you have zero credentials when it comes to counseling and helping like rape survivors. So your argument moot at best. So that's the bullshit lines that they use. Oh, but what if the kid needs to talk about that? You want to talk about it? That's like I just ew. So Mackenzie is going to read this, and I want to warn you guys, it's graphic. So if you are easily affected, not triggered, not butt hurt, not a snowflake, but if you are somebody like me who has been traumatized in this manner, and these words can trigger PTSD in you, I highly recommend just muting it until we're done. It's about 3 minutes and but it is that hardcore. And you have to ask yourself, if what would you put yourself in your own shoes when you were a kid and you're in school and you pick up a book and it says this in it? How would you feel? Because I tell you what, I brought up a very good point here. After Mackenzie spoke and Eugene, there are more kids in our district, unfortunately. And this month being Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month, right? There are more kids in my district and every other district in the freaking country where we have children, boy or girl, it doesn't matter, who has been victimized. And this excerpt depicts just that. And then you're going to put those kids below the kids that enjoy pornography because they've been groomed to.
You don't make that child go through that trauma again.
Fact.
You are not doctors. You are not counselors. You are not equipped to take care of our children in that way. So let's get on with the books that you have approved, which we have asked to be removed. I love that you're rolling your eyes at me, Miss Jesselnig. Yes, go ahead and gawk at me. So
And I'm going to tell you what, Mackenzie ain't the one. She ain't the one. She is not the one. Let me tell you what, this woman rolled up on her Harley. That says anything. This woman will whoop your ass. And for any of these woke school board members to roll their eyes, fix their hair, stare out windows, and act like they should be somewhere else.
Let's go through this. Excuse me.
Just please address
the
the board
tightness
president.
of her vagina was more than he could bear. His soul seemed to slip down to his gut and fly into her, and his gigantic thrust he made into her then provoked the only sound she made. A hollow suck of air in the back of her throat. The rapid loss of air from the circus balloon following disintegration. The falling away of sexual desire.
Mandy.
He was conscious of her wet, soapy hands on his wrists, the fingers clenching, but whether her grip was from a hopeless but stubborn struggle to be free
Facts.
from some other emotion, he could not tell. Removing himself.
Now, I want to, I know that's graphic and all, but this really affects Mackenzie and a lot of us in the room that night. However, there were literally, the superintendent had his head down like this. The three woke members, Lauren Marchaza was like she was mouthing the words or casting a fucking spell or something. I don't know what she was doing, but I was watching their demeanor the whole time. Miss Jessling, who rolled her eyes at not the one, Mackenzie, she was just smug as ever. Maggie Cook, Madam President, was sitting there just stone-faced. Like, just another day at the office. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And what really sucks here is that they were supposed to have a meeting where you ask them questions, and then the next meeting they are to answer your questions. However, they only did that one time. Once. Too time consuming for you. Can't take the heat, then fucking resign. All right. I'm going to back it up just a smidgen because you could tell how compassionate and very upset Mackenzie is, rightfully so.
His soul seemed to slip down to his gut and fly into her, and his gigantic thrust he made into her then provoked the only sound she made.
Agreed.
A hollow suck of air in the back of her throat. The rapid loss of air from the circus balloon following disintegration. The falling away of sexual desire. He was conscious of her wet, soapy hands on his wrists.
Yes.
The fingers clenching, but whether her grip was from a hopeless but stubborn struggle to be free from some other emotion, he could not tell. Removing himself from her was so painful to him. He cut it short and snatched his genitals out of the dry harbor of her vagina. She appeared to have fainted. Charlie stood up and could only see her grayish. I'm sorry, like, this is making me so upset to read this, that our children have this available in a library. Charlie stood up and could only see her grayish panties, so sad and limp around her ankles. Again, the hatred mixed with tenderness. The hatred would not let him pick her up. The tenderness forced him to cover her. I'm going to stop there. This book is about a father raping a daughter. And you all approve this. We are asking for 2 books to be removed. It is plain and simple. I don't care about your red light, green light, whatever it is. It's inappropriate. No child should have it there, period. I am disgusted for any of you sitting on this board right now that actually had this approved. No, thank you.
Oof. 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 Oh, Lord. You and I, all of you and I, I'm sure 99.99999% of us can go. That does not belong in schools. There's no educational value to that whatsoever. I've talked to my kids, both of them at a very young age. Nobody's to touch you there. And if they do, you come tell mommy right away. You know, for them to say that they're doing kids a favor, no, they're not. Because I purposefully did what I did last time, okay? Because I wanted to show them how what happened to me that happens to so many other people still affects me to this day, all these years later. That is something that puts an imprint on your soul. When your innocence is stolen, okay, it's such a horrendous experience that you'll never forget. You won't forget sounds, scents. You won't forget anything about it for as long as you live. And in some cases, I mean, as if that's not bad enough, right? Let's add a little insult to injury here, because some kids have the unfortunate circumstances of having a predator as a parent. And that happens far too much for my liking. If it were up to me, I would make the mandatory death sentence for anybody who touches a child like that. I don't see why it's not. It's right up there with murder. It's the most calloused, most evil thing that you could do to another human being, let alone an innocent child. I'm sorry. I look at children as being innocent. Okay. I look at them like they are the most precious beings on this planet, because, believe it or not, if we don't protect them throughout their childhood, well, they are our future. So why wouldn't we want to protect them? And I put myself in my own shoes again. And I look back at how horrific it was for me as a 5-year-old little girl. And then again on my 25th birthday. You know, at 25, it wasn't, as traumatizing. It was traumatizing, but not nearly as traumatizing as it was when I was a little baby. I don't see how anybody couldn't look at a kid and think, I need to protect you with every fiber of my being and every drop of blood in my body. And don't get it twisted. There ain't no amount of blood in this world that I won't spill protecting you. Some parents think it's okay that their children read that type of thing. You know what it mostly is? These white, liberal, Marxist pushing assholes. And I look at the community members in my community, okay? I came from an all-black neighborhood, if you don't know, okay? So it was quite of a culture shock when I got here. Going from all black, being one of two only white girls within a 5-mile radius, maybe even more, to going to a uppity, snob ass, fucking just petty. And these people here are so just trying to find a good word for them. It was so different from where I came from. Like, they are materialistic. They are the epitome of privileged, and every liberal that came up and backed the decision to keep these books in the schools, or they want to push DEI and be all inclusive, they are the most privileged. They got everything to say bad about Trump, but they never got one fucking good thing to say about Biden, the man they voted for, the man that allowed this shit to happen. Well, Obama did. Obama sure did. And this has been going on for quite some time, though, because the sexual education in America, you know where it came from? This might shock you if you don't know. But there was a woman doctor who used to work with Dr. Alfred Kinsey. Yeah, that Alfred Kinsey. He wrote 2 books based off of sexuality in boys and girls. This man was 100% pedo. He has tables in his book. He did studies on children as little as 4 months old, all the way up to 11, of how many times they orgasmed in a 24-hour period. They claim children are sexual beings. So this woman that was a close associate of Dr. Alfred Kinsey writes the whole program for sex ed for American public schools. That has not changed, by the way. We still follow that bullshit, those guidelines. You know what helps? You know what helps better than a pro-pedo sex ed programming? Abstinence. If you abstain from having sex, kids, guess what? You won't get an STD, and you sure as shit won't get pregnant. It's really easy. But when you're pushing this type of bullshit in our schools, you are hypersexualizing children that maybe they weren't curious about sex just yet. Maybe they wanted to wait for the one that they married. But the peer pressure and the book that they checked out of the library sure did pique their interest. Not to mention, we have TV shows like Teen Mom that glorify teen pregnancy. It's a mess. It's a mess. And the Marxist of the commie Marxist of America have been attacking the men, the father figure, and the whole nuclear family since the dawn of time of communism and Marxism, because that father figure is the protector. Well, let's incentivize you not being with the father of your children. Okay. You can depend on the welfare state, be in the welfare system. The government will take good care of you, but you can't be with your significant other. Because if you are, well, we're going to take your food stamps away. We're going to take your Medicaid away. We're going to take your cash assistance away. They incentivize the destruction of the nuclear family. Let's talk about CPS for a minute. That very agency, do you know how many kids are taken out of a perfectly healthy, normal, loving home and placed in group homes, state run facilities, simply because their parents don't want to call them by a pronoun that they made up because they're going through a phase, or they don't want to let them sterilize themselves or mutilate themselves or do something that can't be undone? Take the kids out of that. It's ridiculous. This whole system is rigged against the family unit. And unfortunately, public schools have been like this for a long time. We're just now noticing it and saying something about it. And I urge you, if your kids are in public schools, you might want to check out your school board meetings, because there you will have concerned parents and concerned citizens standing up, letting everybody know what's going on that the school boards don't want to tell you about. I pulled up my 3 minutes here. As you'll know, you can see it takes a second for me to gain my composure after hearing that. Because I'll tell you what, man, and I'm going to be dead honest with you guys. When I was a little girl and that shit happened to me more than once, by the way, by a father-son duo, that's all I wanted was my dad. I begged and I cried for him. And I didn't have that. So the divorce rates in this country are disgusting. And the family unit is by far the biggest blessing that you will ever have. So, guys, ladies, if you want to shack up with somebody, make sure that's going to be your forever. And make sure you screen them first before you go getting pregnant. Because if I knew then what I know now, yeah, it's one of those cases. You're going to want to have children with somebody that you know is going to be a good parent. And a big red flag, wait for it. You would think this is so common sense. If they have other kids and they got a fuck to do with them, yeah, they're not the right one to have kids with. All right, so I'm going to play my speech here. And maybe now that you know a little bit more about me and I open up with you guys even more every time, hopefully you'll get a gist of why I'm so passionate about protecting not even just my kids, but everybody else's. Because guess what, you guys? Unfortunately, for a lot of kids in my community, they don't got parents like me. And I ain't tooting my own horn here or nothing, but toot motherfucking toot.
Madam President, members of the board, Mr. Heath, Mr. Wade, thank you.
Hey, fucking E. Jean Carroll again. Let me skip through this old biddy. Doesn't she look just like her, man? Sound just like her? I'm just waiting for her to any minute go, Rachel, we're gonna get all new fishing rods and we're gonna get a motorcycle for this one. We're gonna get a whole new wardrobe. Spending Trump's money before she even has it. I just wish I could speak with Alina Habba. That would be just phenomenal. All right, let me go back just a few seconds here. I couldn't speak. I was rendered speechless. And let me tell you guys something. Rarely does that happen. A lot of you already know that. Let's see if I can get it to play. There you go. Exhale, Jennifer, exhale.
Hearing that kind of language is very traumatizing, especially when you have more students in this district who have been sexually
bless you.
assaulted than you have kids that have gender confusion. So you're putting the top, the 99 percentile below the less than 1%. I was wrong in my last speech, so I'm going to correct myself. Mentor High School ranks in the top 50% of all schools. The math proficiency is at the bottom. So I was wrong. It's worse. It's much worse than I thought. Reading proficiency is also in the bottom 50%, but I mean, when you're pushing wokeness and DEI and you're in this culture war, I think that your priorities need to be the education of the children in this district, seeing as parents trust you with their children.
This is nothing about being a right-wing Christian conservative. It's not anything of the sort. But what this is facts. You're pushing this woke DEI nonsense that's exclusionary to everybody else who doesn't think like you, and then you bully them when they don't. And you are neglecting to realize that you're taking away educating kids. And it shows in the math and reading scores. We are in the bottom 50%. That's failing. That's failing. The bottom 50 percentile is failing. That's a failing grade. So I don't want to hear nothing about no ultra mega right-wing Christian bullshit. This ain't got nothing to do with that. This is taking education out of the schools and pushing leftist propaganda. I don't want to hear that bullshit, man. You're not in this country, first of all. So if you're not from America, shut the fuck up. Go back to wherever the fuck you are. And when you guys are getting naked in front of kids on your TV, bunch of fucking pedos over there. Anybody okay with this? It's not about ultra right wing or it's right and wrong. It's good versus evil. Period. I'm so fucking sick of people doing that. It's about MAGA this. Nah, fuck you.
That is, you are trusted members of this society and this community with people's kids. That's their children. That is their.
Let me go back. God bless America.
But I mean, when you're pushing wokeness and efficiency is also, it's worse. It's much worse than I thought. Reading proficiency is also in the bottom 50%. But I mean, when you're pushing wokeness and DEI and you're in this culture war, I think that your priorities need to be the education of the children in this district, seeing as parents trust you with their children.
What's up, Tawaka?
That is, you are trusted members of this society and this community with people's kids. That's their children. That is the beings that come out of their bodies. And after the last meeting, I could not look at my son and honestly say, I feel safe with you in mentor schools. So he was pulled out the next day.
Thank God.
Thank God. Because I will teach my son, like I did my oldest, when you're involved with something and you're at that appropriate age that I know you're mature enough, because teachers don't get to spend all day with you. They don't get to spend 24/7, 365 with you. I do. I'll teach you about consent because I'm not a scumbag parent. I'll teach you about being safe and being a productive member of society, because looking at a school ain't the place, because we're more worried about looking inclusive to the tiny shred of people that need help rather than affirmation.
Now I'm about to drop one of the biggest truth bombs on them, one that they couldn't handle. You should have seen if that bitch's eyes rolled back into her head farther than they did, she'd be looking at her ass. Okay? She'd be looking at her ass from now on. Ready for a truth bomb, because here it is. Ain't no child born in the wrong body. Period.
They need help. No child has been born in the wrong body. And when anybody can look at me and say, we have to focus on our LGBTQ youth, you just associated sexuality with youth, with children. And that is pedophilia. I don't care what anybody says. Sex and kids are like oil and water. And unless you want to see me at every meeting, you're going to get those books out of here, because I will be here every time for your whole 4 years. Yeah, I will, Miss Marchaza. No,
Please
no.
address the president and keep your items to agenda items.
Please keep it to your agenda items. Fuck you. How about that? How about shove your agenda up your pee hole, you pedo? I'm so sick and tired of them. We have to look out for LGBTQIA plus children. You bitches, you just said that you just associated sexuality with children. LG, lesbian, gay, youth. T, trans youth. And QIQ, Q, queer youth. IA, what the fuck is that? I don't even know. We don't associate children with homosexuality, nor do we associate children with heterosexuality. Because why? Because sex with kids is wrong. That's why. Having sex with kids is wrong. It's wrong. But they ain't got no problem with it. And the daggers that I got when I was walking away from that podium, I think Mackenzie's not the right one. Well, neither am I. But we're just going, because we have to maintain decorum. Whatever the fuck. I have to see where this all starts. Oh, the clip that Peg sent me. You think the superintendent, would feel like I'm going to fight like hell for these kids, because that's what superintendents are supposed to. They're supposed to do that. The board members on a school board and the superintendent, they make up policy and they follow policy in order to keep our children educated and keep our children safe. And then when they do that, well, the community and the taxpayers, especially in that community, are very happy with them. And they say, okay, you've done what you had to do. You've done what you said what you're going to do, and we're going to help you and pass that levy. You don't do that, though. You're not doing that. So why should we pass your levies? In fact, I'm going to urge everybody in my community, until they get these books out of the schools and until they enforce the law stating that boys are not allowed in a girls' bathrooms and or locker rooms, you do not pass another one. Because I'm not. And I don't think they deserve it. You're going to ask me for money when I'm already giving you money and you're buying this DEI woke nonsense for the curriculum, okay? You're already spending my tax dollars on this leftist liberal propaganda bullshit indoctrinating kids with. And you want more money from me? No. 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 Nope. Not happening. Not today, Satan. The whole front row of this school board meeting, I'm just saying, eek. If the Liberal Party had their sponsors or poster children, they would be them. I mean, this chick had a thicker mustache than my dad. And my friends called my dad Mario, my stepfather, who was like more of a father than mine. They called him Luigi because he looked like Luigi from Mario Brothers. This bitch had a mustache thicker. And I'm like, now I know some women have some hormone imbalances and shit, right? But there is such thing as waxing that, razoring it, plucking it out, laser hair removal. There's all kinds of shit you could do. Nope, they rock that shit. They think it's cute. They think, well, how could I look like a fucking freak today? And when people misgender me because I am non-binary, I could freak out on them. And then hopefully I could post it on TikTok and get a whole bunch of fucking views. Get people bullied that way and get people doxxed that way, lose their jobs, lose their family, lose their friends, you know. They're disgusting. So I got a video here. All right. Let me pause it here. Let me make it big. All right. Our superintendent is like, fuck it, man. He's got a case of the fuckets. I'm glad I have this clip. Because if he ever goes up for re-election, I'm going to say, what's this? You a bit running a bit ragged there? Can't handle it? A little too hot in the kitchen? I think I'm going to speak on my personal beliefs and my opinions, okay? Because that of my opinions are my own. I think the president and the superintendent are fucking. I do. I just get a vibe that, like, because she looks at him like, they both married. I'm just saying. They give off that vibe that they fucking. I hope his wife checks his phone and shits. Puts a GPS monitor on his ass. Hires a private investigator. You know. All right. Let me show you this shit. 'Cause this is fucking hilarious. It really is. It's fucking hilarious. If I can find it. Where is it? Ah. No, that's not it. Where is it? Well, it's no motherfucker. Oh, here. Yeah, duh. Present. I'm brand new. I act brand new. All right. Here it is.
Sound better, Mr. Heath? I just, your brow was so furrowed over there. I was trying to come to your rescue.
I'm just done with this whole conversation.
I hear you.
I'm just done with this whole conversation. I'm just done. I just can't do this anymore. I would like to see you find your balls and say, you know what? I'm going to do what's right for the kids. I get paid to do this, right? I'm going to take my job seriously as the superintendent of the mentor exempted school district, and I'm going to find my cojones, and I'm going to stand up for what's best for kids. They'd vote him out like that. Okay? They'd vote him out like that. Onto Twitter. Onto the X. Onto the X. Oh, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. It's so much. Did you guys see that Howard Stern writer beating the shit out of her boyfriend in her car on a live stream? I saw that and I was like, well, you're the company you keep. And we got a Trump deranged asshat that used to show up at the MTV Music Awards dressed up like Fart Man. Now he's got Trump derangement syndrome and everything is Trump this and Trump that and Orange Man bad. And the writer for your show beat the living shit out of her boyfriend and it was on a live stream. She felt that comfortable and this man had enough. He said, pull over, cunt. Fucking shit, man. Let me tell you something. If you put your hands on a man, the possibility of you getting hit back increases tenfold. Okay? Let's keep our hands to ourselves, shall we? All right. I watched that and I was shocked. I was like, what the fuck is this? That is insanity. It's insanity to me. All right. I want to show you something really quickly, you guys, because this is baffling. And this is why this is happening. Here. Present this. Share screen. My Twitter. Make sure you guys are following me on X. It's at ReactsGen. My lovely Megan there, Schmiegel there. She just dropped the dime right there. Twitter.com/ReactsGen. Why so many American kids are struggling to learn how to read and how to fix that. For decades, educators have disagreed over how to teach children to read. After the plandemic, scamdemic, an evidence-based approach is gaining popularity. Well, you don't say. You don't say. Facts don't care about your what? Your feelings? Well, gee, boo. When you're pushing curriculum like Nearpod, fucking Nearpod, man. Nearpod. When you're pushing propaganda like Nearpod here, okay, I want to show you how much my school district is spending on Nearpod, which is a very woke, just indoctrination. That's what it is. It doesn't get any more indoctrination than this. Okay. Okay. All right. And it's very costly. And they were arguing back and forth, the board members, on I don't know if we can do it in a timely fashion or if it's going to be cheaper and if the programming can give us the best or what Nearpod does. Boy, oh boy, the leftists were literally screaming and hooting and hollering how we need to keep it because it allows for digital citizenship. And I'm over here going, you fuckers have no idea. But I informed them later on. So this district spent $35,077.23 on this curriculum. This is from grades K through 12. Okay. So that's how much they spent our tax dollars on. And here is some of the things that is in there. Now I know that screen is really, really small, so I'll read it from actually I have a copy of it on my phone so I can see it better because I'm blind as shit right now. Actually, this picture is pretty pretty blurry. Okay, so the first little box there. Well, God bless America. Stop it. The first little box there for the Nearpod curriculum that cost our schools that much money, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. The first one is pronouns and gender identity. This box here. The next one here with a shim is gender identity and expression. The gray box here says, what are the symptoms of gender dysphoria? This one here says, the theories of gender. Yeah, there are two, male, female, period. The last box on the top here says, gender stereotypes in media, like the stick figures of the woman in the women's bathrooms and the stick figure of the male in the male bathroom. Apparently, so many people get that confused because you're retards. That's why. Okay, the one on the bottom here. Now, this one says gender stratification. This next box here, transform our world, gender equality. Oh, would you look at that? The UN global goal for gender equality. Well, gee, The UN, huh? Why don't you put something in there about the NHS banning gender affirming care? No, the FDA just came out and said that puberty blockers are not safe for children. You think they'd put that in there, though, huh? Nope. No Tuttle twins. No Johnny the Walrus. No? Well, shit. The next one here, Harriet Martineau and gender conflict. What's there to conflict about? Either you're born a male or you're born a female, and that's it. And the last one here, getting to 50-50 elementary, equal rights. They want equal rights, equal pay, all that, the patriarchy, the patriarchy, the patriarchy. Mumbo jumbo bullshit. We're not going to teach our children that, our male children, that it's okay to be masculine. Nah, why would we do that? Let's pussify them even more. We're not going to tell our kids that, hey, you know what? Hard work pays off. And although that job may be dangerous, you're going to make a shit ton of money doing it. Nope, can't do that. Instead, here's a drag queen, kids. We're inclusive. Yay! Not only are they dumbing down our students, but they're teaching them that normalcy, that a relationship, a heterosexual one at that, is abnormal, that a nuclear family is abnormal and not okay, that men and women should make the same amount of money. How many women CEOs are out there? There's quite a few. But how many women are as successful as men? What about sports? The WNBA, women's basketball in particular. How many of you out there watch women's basketball? I do not. I will not. Why? Because they suck. They suck. I'll watch men's basketball, the NBA, any day. Why? Because it's entertaining. And boy, oh boy, are those guys good at what they do. I used to watch the NFL and I used to watch the NBA. But since they started kneeling for our anthem and treating it like shit after they're making millions upon millions upon millions of dollars playing American ball, well, I don't like you. That tells me you're an ungrateful fuck. And I just don't care to watch women's sports because even women's soccer, again, they suck. Megan Rapinoe, right? What happened when she mocked Christianity and mocked God and everything? What happened? What happened? Anybody remember? She lost them the World Cup. And then blamed it on, it's because I'm gay. Shut up. No, it's because you fucking suck. Okay? All right. So men make all that money in professional sports because they're better athletes. They're stronger, they're faster, and they're just more entertaining. They can pack a stadium. You don't see that for women's sports, and they're demanding the same amount of pay. Well, play as good as a man can, fill a stadium as much as a man can, and then we'll talk. Until then, be grateful at what you got. So speaking of men whom are bigger, faster, just more athletic in general because they have bigger lung capacity and bigger muscles and bigger bone structure than we do, I am so sick and tired of seeing these men who, fuck, man, I suck with these guys, so I'm just going to say I'm a woman and I'm going to beat the crap out of all these women and I'm going to take the title. Dude, you just took a woman's title. Like, hope you feel real good about yourself, because I would feel like shit. I would be like, man, I'm fucking embarrassed. But again, that's just me, I guess. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. I got a few clips here I want to highlight here. Really good ones. This woman here, I don't know what her name is, but I want to give her a major round of applause for being fact based and having common sense and basically saying that just the quiet parts out loud.
This is in regards to the library materials discussion on the agenda for later tonight. As we all know, the topic of book appropriateness has taken center stage for quite a while now. This topic has been cast in a negative light by some in the community and even by the media. However, I believe it is a worthy discussion to give careful consideration to what we put in students' minds and hearts while they are young.
Me too.
I don't believe this needs to be a contentious topic, just as it is not contentious when we talk about tailoring other aspects of education to each child's needs. I would like to see the focus shift away from what we don't want our kids to read to what we do want to encourage in the Mentor schools. Quality above controversy,
Perfect.
as well as a balanced, well-rounded offering. My oldest has been frustrated for quite some time with the book selections at her school.
All right, hang on real quick, because I want to highlight something what she said here. Why don't we take quality over controversy? Why don't we put in some classics, some books that our students, especially if you look at this woman, you could tell her kids are smart. My son as well. I know we look vastly different, okay? And we act vastly different as well. But my son, my oldest, and my youngest, they're very intelligent and get bored very easily. My kid read all of the Harry Potter novels in like 2 days. Not all of them in 2 days, but every novel. And this kid would sit there for 8-9 hours just reading. He needed to be challenged. And instead of putting the needs of a few kids over the rest of these kids and then taking these gifted kids and going, I think that she speaks major truths here. And this speech is of most importance. You would think that, but these people are hell-bent. You can't give them facts and then be like, oh yeah, that's a good point. Nope. It's not diverse enough. It's not inclusive enough. It's not equitable. How much do they get paid to push DEI? I want to know. Bitches. All right. Back to this amazing woman. And I want to say really quickly before I take your comment down, Queen Bee, yes. What the hell is Jake Paul thinking? Jake Paul brought up Mike Tyson's deceased daughter. I'm over here and Mike Tyson's like crying, like, I don't want to let the animal out. I'm like, let him out, Mike. Let's go, Iron Mike. Finish him. Like, I hear the Mortal Kombat finish him I hear that in my head. I just wish he'd grant Jake Paul his wishes and give him an early retirement because I'm sick of hearing about him. All right, love you, girl. Let me go back to this.
Her school. She's a voracious reader and has been pretty bored with what she has been able to find on the shelves. When she brings home what seems like the 100th installment of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Captain Underpants, or Stick Dogs series, I have asked her many times, don't you have any classics at your school, like Narnia or Little House on the Prairie? I wonder if, to compete with TV, iPads, and video games for the attention of our kids, the book selections have become largely irreverent humor style books, full of complaining about parents and teachers, toilet humor, and the like. Our family would personally love to see more thought-provoking, imagination-stoking books coming home in their backpacks, the kind you cherish forever, not bubblegum for the brain books such as those series. My understanding is that book donations are allowable under Board Policy 7230 with board approval. So in the spirit of adding to the quality and the balance of the Mentor Schools library offering, I would like to donate a full set of the Tuttle Twins series by Connor Boyack to the Bellflower Library. The purchase price is $105. My daughter has really enjoyed her set of these books. They are fun and quick reads and deal with topics such as the golden rule, the law, and personal responsibility. I will follow up with an email to formally offer this donation, and I look forward to the board's response. Perhaps if every family donated a few really great books
I
that
will.
put quality above controversy, then our community could be proud of our school libraries. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was so proud of her. I really was. Now, I caught her in the lobby when I took a brief break, and I said, that was an amazing speech. You brought up a really good point. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and she's right. They're using these books. It's like toilet humor, and to challenge these kids is what's best. My kid was fully reading before he even got out of preschool. It was amazing, and I loved it. It was such a proud mom moment, right? And I was like, I knew you were just as smart as your brother. I knew it, and you just get a sense, right? They're literally this culture social war going on right now. Like, literally, I don't want any part of it. I don't want any part of it. I don't want any part of it for my children. Teen pregnancy, twerking at Planned Parenthood. Nah, I'm good. And Quifa, BLM. Nope, 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 nope. Don't want no part of that. So they're dumbing our kids down by giving them this nonsense to read. Look at Diary of a Wimpy Kid is like that thick. It's like 38 pages, maybe more. I'm being facetious there. It's not something that will challenge these kids, especially the gifted kids. So I walked up to her and I thanked her for her speech because I agreed with her. And I says, if you donate the Tuttle twins, so will I. I will donate to every elementary school. And she says, I will email the board. And unfortunately, only 2 will ever email you back. Those 2 being Annie Payne and Rose Iapolo. Ginny Jessling? Nope. Maggie Cook? Nope. Lauren Marchaza? Nope. Why? I wonder why. My good friend Ross, he's a part of my Patreon family. He gave me the Patriot book for elementary students. It's a set by Rush Limbaugh. Because we're seeing a lot of these conservatives putting out children's books to combat this. Like, the history of America. Yeah, it was bad. But now look at it. Look at how far we've come. We tend to look at the glass half full when we're talking about America and patriotism. And although all of this horrible crap happened, how far we have come is why we are proud Americans. How diverse America is why we're proud Americans. But they don't want it that way because I truly believe the people on the left will call you every name that they are. Oh, you don't want porn in schools. You're a racist. No, you are, because if you're thinking about race with everything, you're the racist. Well, you're a homophobe then. No, you are. Oh, what are you talking about? Here's my gay, trans, non-binary best friend. See, it's on my Facebook and everything. Or better yet, I know a black person. How dare you? She's in my paparazzi group on Facebook. Oh, you're transphobic. I'm not phobic of nothing. Know that. I'm not scared of some dude who dresses like a woman. Call me crazy, but I'm not. You're not masculine like you should be. I think those men, they're the toxic ones. I don't think it's toxic to have masculinity. I think it's wrong to dress up like a woman and demand I call you one. That's toxicity to me. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I got a couple more, you guys, and I just want to say, man, I'm so proud of my amazing school board members that actually give a shit about the kids, man. The two out of the three or five, I'm sorry, the two out of the five ones that can't put their politics aside. Now, this man here is amazing. His name is Gil Martello. Now, Gil is who I voted for with Rose Iapolo. I voted for Rose and I voted for Gil because I'm like, oh, you're going to make sure that you fight for the kids and get this stuff out of our schools and you're going to do anything and everything. You promised to do that. And this man has, at every school board meeting that I've been and every event in the community that is pro protecting kids, he's at. So I'm over here like, yeah, I voted the right way. I voted with my brain and not my emotions. The people that voted for Lauren Marchaza and Lindsay Wall, you dumb bitches voted with your emotions. And who's a Democrat? Well, now the kids are failing. Congratulations. Because guess who gets to go to bed at night knowing that I did my part to ensure that doesn't happen? All right, Gil.
Good evening, Mr. Heath, Mr. Wade, and members of the board. The past 24 months, I have witnessed much that can lead one to question the direction of this school district.
Hold on.
Tens of
Wait, Gil. Hold on. I'm going to rewind it because I want to read you my caption here. This is very important to me. This man should have been elected for school board for Mentor Schools. I voted for him. Sadly, the angry leftist voters used their emotions instead of their brains, and now our students are suffering. Our children are not proficient in reading or math because this school is more focused on being woke. Gil Martello, sir, I respect you more than you may know. You and your lovely wife have my support always. Thank you for always standing up for the children of Mentor Schools. And I provided the curriculum that they chose to use to provide for our educators. It's DEI nonsense, and it's no wonder why our children are failing math and reading. So take it away, Gil.
Good evening, Mr. Heath, Mr. Wade, and members of the board. The past 24 months, I have witnessed much that can lead one to question the direction of this school district. Tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars have been spent on reading and curriculum materials many taxpayers in this district would strongly object to if they were made aware of. Given the economic times and the pandemic, spending approximately $4.5 million on a sports facility a short while ago might have not been the most prudent use of our dollars. We have had several book challenges that have resulted in emotional rants with little, if any, objective evidence demonstrating the value of the book in question. Our school buildings remain inadequately staffed by resource officers. In the recent past, there's been enough evidence to prompt an investigation into the possibility that a majority of school board members met and in the process broke sunshine laws and the Open Meetings Act.
Okay. I want to highlight what he just said. Let's unpack it, shall we? Okay, so Gil was speaking about, common sense. We probably shouldn't have spent $4 million on a new sports complex because Mentor is facetious and they are hoity-toity and all about their football. Oh, yeah. They're really competitive when it comes to sports. That is their number one focus besides indoctrinating our kids. So he's talking about resource officers and there's a shortage. Well, gee, the attack on police officers is why. And some fool goes up there who claims to be a psychologist. I'm a psychologist with all sorts of facts and all this, the statistics and everything. When from 1960? Well, studies show that kids are killed more when there's a resource officer there. That's a bold-faced lie. That's a bold-faced lie because look at Uvalde. There wasn't a resource officer there. Look at that Covenant School in Memphis. There wasn't a resource officer there. If these people know that there is a police presence with guns there, and a lot of them are sharpshooters, they are less likely to come up to your school and cause an active shooter situation. So I like that Gil brought that up. I do, because that shut that old fucker, that old coot, that grumpy old man's bullshit up. He shut him down with facts. Just listen. Our school is lacking in resource officers. And if you want to spend $4 million on a sports complex, perhaps you should be putting more police in the schools, in every school. I voted on putting in a levy that would put cops in our schools. And that levy did pass. Okay, that did. You're not going about they violated the Sunshine Act and the Open Meetings Act. I like Gil, man, because he is smart. And Peg, you're right. Our community was done a huge disservice by these left-wing ideologue nut jobs voting for Tutti Frutti Adderall girl Lindsay Wall and her witch bitch friend, Miss Planned Parenthood herself. How dare you do that to our kids, man? You fuckers. I'm so angry at all of these people that voted for those two idiots because this man would have done great things for all of the kids, all of them, and help them further their careers and possibly pick a really good one at that. These people are so goddamn selfish, it's not even funny. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. We have to look woke. Because you know wokesters, right? They agree on everything. If one jumps off a bridge, they'll all jump off the bridge. They will not go against one another. One could say, well, there's a new gender out here today, guys. It's called socks. And you know what they'll do? Well, we got to add it to the LGBTQIA. We'll add an S on there. And if somebody says, wait, what, socks, dude? What are you talking about? You're not woke enough. We'll never talk to you again. In fact, we're going to put your address out there where you work and we're going to get you fired. 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 They are like parents who kill their young. They're fucked up. So glad to be a conservative, man. I'm so glad I'm on this side, man. I love it. I love being a conservative. I love it. Because I don't think porn in schools is okay. I just don't. Either you're pro that or you're not. And it's the conservatives who are anti-pedophilia. Sorry, not sorry.
Open Meetings Act.
Get it, Gil.
This board has not taken decisive action prohibiting biological males from entering the private facilities of biological females. The Mentor Teachers Association and 3 sitting board members heartily endorsed a candidate who would have clearly struggled with the responsibilities of being a board member.
Yep, he could have done it.
This lapse in judgment brings into question all they might decide on in the future and raises the specter of a conflict of interest. Because of what I have mentioned, how many very good students have left the Mentor School District for the option of attending private schools or being homeschooled?
Mine.
Household budgets are being eviscerated by inflation.
Yep.
Given what I have stated, do you believe the people with their financial backs up against the wall are going to support a school system, possibly a levy increase, and a superintendent they cannot be proud of or see value in?
Nope.
On the possibility of curtailing the public portion of school board meetings, relocating books to an age-appropriate area is not book banning. However, limiting or preventing a taxpayer from speaking to their elected representatives in a public forum is the epitome of banning free speech.
Say it again.
I'd like to take the next 30 seconds or so.
This is hard.
I pull up to this building every morning at 6:30 to drop my daughter off. And every morning I drop my daughter off, I'm asking myself, am I doing the right thing by allowing my daughter to come to this school? I got to tell you, if she were in 8th grade, she'd be going to private school, because I'm not seeing this board with moral clarity to do the right thing. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gil Martello, man. What a just amazing pillar of this community. Amazing. I couldn't have said it better myself. In fact, I know I couldn't have. Amazing. That was really hard to watch him struggle with himself, going, am I doing the right thing by bringing you here every day? That's a hard one. I didn't like it when they took 9th grade away from the middle school and then put 9th grade in with the high school. I thought that was a bit dangerous, because now you're introducing 15-year-old girls to potentially 18-year-old boys, right? And I'm over here like, they're going to grow up a tad too fast. And Menor High School is brutal, especially the bullying that goes on in that school. It's really bad. Because again, we have these kids who are petty and materialistic, and they bully kids for not having the best of the best clothing. Back when I was a kid, it was Z Cavaricis and Guess jeans and Nikes and all of this, that, and the other. Today, we got kids making fun of kids for not having Versace and Gucci. I got a couple of things, but I don't have clothing from them because it's too damn expensive. My kids sure as shit don't, because they just don't. But they'll make fun of you for anything and everything. And now we have kids making fun of other kids because their parent is a conservative. Worse off, we have some asshole who was a failed school board member getting hired in and voted in and endorsed by the 3 wokesters. She was elected to be a teacher's aide, and then she proceeded to attack the children of the conservative parents who were outspoken at school board meetings. Yeah, real nice. Come pick on me, Lindsay. You won't, though. You won't do it. Bitch ran with her tail tucked, scurried away like the cockroach she is. Needless to say, I'm over it. I'm over them. I'm not over fighting, but I'm over them getting over on us. We are their bosses. We elected them, and we can vote them out. I'm working with state reps and with Senator Vance to pass a law stating, because we don't have one here in Ohio, and it's unfortunate that we don't right now. We're going to try to pass legislation or get it introduced as a bill to take school board members out for not fulfilling their duties. Because why would we not have that? Why don't we have that? I feel like it's disgusting. It's a nasty power play. This woman here, amazing. She did a phenomenal job. She is a former educator, again, just like Peg. Many, many, many decades in the Menor schools. Okay, she did so good, man.
Good evening,
But I want to then show you the most epic showdowns. It's like 7-minute clip, man. It went on for a long time because you'll see. And I'm dropping hints, you guys, and I'm filling you in on these people in question and how these leftist liberals are so protective over one another. That's going to play in on the next clip. This one here, this woman, I'm so proud to say that she is in my community. Now, I don't know her name, but here is what I said. Amazing citizens of Mentor, Ohio stand up against the Mentor Schools woke school board. You can see there are far more parents and former educators who actually care more about the children than they do politics existing in this community. Put your politics aside for the sake of the children's education. And if you can't do that, resign. Far left and far right extremism has no place in schools, especially when this school in particular is failing its children. Children are failing because of left wing ideologues pushing their liberal propaganda and their far left curriculum, aka Nearpod.
Lieutenant Heath and distinguished board members, thank you for giving me time to speak. I had planned to say all your names and give you all eye contact, but I think I'm going to shorten it. My name
my
is Connie
God.
Paraskevas. I live in Maplewood and Mentor on the Lake.
Thank you,
I'm a
Connie.
retired teacher with a master's in curriculum instruction. I've taught 33 years in elementary, middle school, and high school combined. That was in both private and public schools. I'm here to promote a balanced curriculum, part of your mission statement. Right now, it appears choices are being made to normalize high-risk sexual behavior
Gotta
in the
change
school
that.
curriculum and not allowing young, vulnerable minds a period of innocence.
Thank you, Pork
I
Chop.
am suggesting you implement a pro-family curriculum and sensible moral messaging, void of political ideologies. With that said, my first suggestion is to adopt Sky Tree book fairs. They offer transparency for families and are committed to family-friendly values.
That's right.
They believe that book fairs should not contain hidden, explicit content targeting kids. Their books are age appropriate. Next, I suggest you adopt books from the American Cornerstone Institute's Little Patriots program. It is an all-in-one platform featuring online lessons, at-home activities, patriotic books, and sing-alongs to teach children about our country's founding principles. Finally, I propose that PragerU free lesson plans be used because they are developed to cover multiple educational standards in one lesson that is fun, interacting, and entertaining. Teachers can implement content grounded in traditional values that inspires self-reliance, patriotism, and resiliency, while teaching foundational knowledge in subjects ranging from civics to financial literacy. In conclusion, April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, too. And if you do not address the immoral, ideological, and sexual issues targeting children now, consider yourselves complicit in making them vulnerable for abuse.
Thank you.
Adapt was part of your mission statement as well. So I'm asking you, adapt.
Yes.
Thank you for looking into these additions into the curriculum. And thank you for letting me speak tonight in public. Thank you. Thank you.
Heartwarming, to say the very least. Nothing warms my heart more than these educators that have been in the district for many years. And us, we look back and go, that would have never flied when we was there. Okay. There was a guy that came on here and he was talking on the second half of the meeting, and he was talking about like Black History Month. And I have a guy that was one of the only Black kids in mentor schools that was so flabbergasted and so grateful for Black History Month. And I'm over here going, you know what? I went to school with 2 out of the only 2 Black kids in this school district, and I was very excited to see Black folk again. I was. But you know what? You know why we didn't celebrate Black History Month? Because as Americans, it doesn't fucking matter what our skin color is. Achievements are achievements. Greatness is greatness. And the American dream, well, before Biden, was attainable for all of us. So we didn't treat him any differently because we didn't see color. motherfuckers. I'm so angry at that. I was just thinking about that today. I was like, you know, nobody treated them differently because we didn't care. You're a community member, and that's all that matters, because your content of your character and what an amazing member of our society you are matters more to us than skin color. And for people to point that out, I was just disgusted. That race is so important to so many people when it is, there's no goal in that. There's no pride in your skin color. You didn't do a fucking thing. You didn't do nothing. How could you be proud of something you didn't work hard for? Any more of these people today are entitled. They're entitled to everything, or so they may think. They put race above content of character or their principle of morality. It's like, why are you so damn focused on skin color that A, nobody played a part in, you didn't play a part in, you had no choice in the matter, and you didn't do a damn thing to work for your blackness or your brownness or your redness or yellowness or whiteness. It's what the it's like, I look at Martin Luther King Jr., right? And his speech, the I Have a Dream speech. And I'm over here going, I am so fucking sorry. And not because I have white guilt, because I don't give a shit. I was born the way I was born, and I can't fix that. Nor do I feel sorry, because I didn't do anybody wrong, and I have a clear conscience. I look at his speech, and it made so much sense. We should be judging based off of content of character, not somebody's skin color. It's that simple. We can't go over and commit a bunch of crimes. Like, look, let's use Fannie Willis, for instance. Good old Fannie Pack. How dare you attack a black woman in church? Nonetheless, you're at the pulpit saying this. Fuck. I'm surprised she didn't get struck down by lightning right then and there. You know, the George Floyd mural in Toledo, Ohio was struck by lightning right in his face. Yep. Did you know that? And I don't care about gay, if you're like a consenting adult, I don't give a shit. But there was a church, I don't remember where, but they were one of the first to welcome gay marriage in their church. And literally, lightning struck the steeple and it burnt that church to the ground. Yeah. But I feel bad for Martin Luther King having to be assassinated and work so hard and diligently for the civil rights movement, right? And knowing what we all know today about the CIA and everything else, dude, it's so sickening. It's so sickening that they don't want to see equality. It's not us that doesn't want to see equality. It's them. It's the Democrats, the power-hungry, money-grubbing, corrupt Democrats that have always been against ending slavery. They've been against the civil rights movement and giving equal rights. I'm ashamed to vote Democrat. I'm ashamed that I voted Democrat at all, but I did because I believe Barack Obama's lies and bullshit 2 fucking terms in a row. But I was like, America's first black president? Oh, really? Oh my God. And anything and everything he said, man, if I could put myself back then and go, hey, what I know now would really help you. Never in a million years did I think that he would throw us all under the bus the way he did, man. And then create more racial divide than we have ever seen. I thought Democrats were supposed to be for equality and the anti-racists, the anti-fascist. I know I am on the right side. I know in my heart of hearts I'm on the right side. All right. Freedom of speech. It's a right that we often take for granted. Some of us don't. Some of us flex it far too often, no matter if it hurts somebody's feelings or not. There's an amazing woman by the name of Jacqueline McCormick. And she is the chapter leader of the Moms for Liberty here in Ohio. And she went to speak and was quickly stopped. In fact, Madam President Maggie Cook said out loud, "Cut her mic." Oh no. Not today, Satan. Annie Payne came in like Superman, like, It was glorious, and you're about to see it. The First Amendment, we're taxpayers. We're allowed to speak. She's very lucky. Maggie Cook is very lucky that Annie Payne corrected her as quickly as she did. Because the Open Meetings Act and the Sunshine Law would be the least of their concerns. Because I'd be the first to go, I am emotionally distressed from you cutting her mic and violating her First Amendment rights. Watch me, man. I get petty too, bitches. Listen, being in mentor, you become petty just like them. I want to show you guys this, man. This is one of the most jaw-dropping, like everybody was screaming, "Let her speak." We should have gotten into chant, "Let her speak, let her speak, let her speak." She came in looking like Rosie the Riveter, man. I was like, I knocked over her Pepsi. I feel so bad, Jacqueline. I owe you a big gulp. I think it was either her boot or mine that kicked it over. I'm still like, I said sorry like 15 times, but it still doesn't make me feel any less worse than I do. I want to read you the caption before I play the video. Tell me why at Mentor Schools, far left extremist school board president Maggie Cook thought it was okay to violate this mother's First Amendment rights while trying to protect her fellow far left extremist friend from being exposed. Apparently, the loyalty to a fellow radical trumps free speech. Maggie Cook, you should resign. Maybe it also has something to do with who is speaking. Also, this is Moms for Liberty's own Jacqueline McCormick. And I tagged it far left extremist, Moms for Liberty, liberalism is a mental disorder, domestic terrorists, Trump 2024, now more than ever. 209 days, y'all. Motherfuckers, I'm counting the days. I'm counting the motherfucking days. All right. If I'm serious about anything, it's my count. It's the final countdown. Do. I won't do music. You guys ready? Grab out your popcorn. Watch this.
In looking over tonight's agenda, I noticed the superintendent's recommendations for classified staff. I saw the names of several classified staff coming and going. One name seems to be missing. I'd like to address that. Apparently, Lindsay Wall was unable to fulfill
Excuse
her
me.
obligations as
We
a
do
long-term
not-
substitute class.
All right. She said Lindsay Wall. LYNDSIEWALL. Lindsay, spelled weird because she is weird. No offense to the people that spell their name like that, but Jacqueline just, let me break this down for you real quickly, and then I'll play the whole video, right? in the agenda that's printed out before every board meeting and set out for us to overlook, to see if there's a timeline and all kinds of bullet points and yada, yada, yada. There was a whole ass like page and a half of teachers who have been, chose to leave or take an extended leave of absence who are no longer with the district. However, one was suspiciously absent. Lindsay Wall, their leftist buddy who ran for school board using Act Blue when she's supposed to be nonpartisan, right? Yeah, right. You used Act Blue to fund your campaign for school board. Not only that, but the Mentor Teachers Association donated a fuck ton of money to her campaign, and then they endorsed her. So did Representative Daniel Troy of Ohio. So, Ohio folks, please, if you would like to give him a call, I would recommend you do. Then the 3 radical left school board members also endorsed her, Ginny, Maggie, and Lauren. And then they voted to hire her in as a teacher's assistant with no college degree, nothing, no accreditation, none, no experience whatsoever. She's reading to kids. Gee, I wonder what she's reading to kids. Hi, kids. Johnny is now Susie. Sometimes the doctors get it wrong. If you want to be a girl, you can be one. You lucky that you wasn't at Bellflower when my kid was there. Lucky. But here's the thing. She can bully people all over Facebook, but she ain't saying shit to your face when she sees you out in public. I want to challenge you to a cage match. 3 rounds, 10 minutes apiece. Winner takes all. I'll quit going to school board meetings if you win. And if I don't win, which I highly suspect is never going to happen, I'm too angry. I would highly recommend that you pack your shit and get out and never show up to a school board meeting again, because we don't need your input, nor do we care to listen to 1 second of it. And quit bullying people's kids, you low-life scumbag. Stick that in your meth pipe and smoke it, Miss Wall. All right. I just want to rewind this because I just went on a rant. Do you guys like my rants? Yeah? No? Let me know in the comments.
Going. One name seems to be missing. I'd like to address that. Apparently, Lindsay Wall was unable to fulfill.
Hold on. Look how quickly Maggie Cook interrupts, because that's her friend. Her friend. That's her leftist friend.
In looking over tonight's agenda, I noticed the superintendent's recommendations for classified staff. I saw the names of several classified staff coming and going. One name seems to be missing. I'd like to address that. Apparently, Lindsay Wall was unable to fulfill
Excuse
her
me.
obligations as a
We
long-term
do not,
substitute classroom
we don't
assistant.
mention names.
Last month, I, along with other community members and parents, brought forth concerns about her violating several board policies. We have filed record requests to see the exact violations that
I'm
occurred
sorry, can
prior
you
to
please
her
cut the
release.
mic?
No, Maggie.
I'm sorry, but
Mrs. Cook.
One more time. I'm sorry. Could you please cut the mic? Oh, shit. This bitch.
The exact violations that
I'm
occurred
sorry,
prior
can you
to
please
her
cut the mic?
release.
No, Maggie.
I'm sorry, but
Mrs. Cook, we
One
were
moment.
advised by legal, though, that we can't, when it comes to employees, we
one
can't.
moment, please.
Now that speaking, that says that Miss Cook, that is Annie Payne going, what you talking about, sucker? You can't say that. Oh yeah. Listen to Annie Payne school the president. I say, Annie Payne, please, you don't have to run for re-election, because I know, man, like I know it's hard and stuff, but I would say that you would be a great replacement for Maggie Cook as president. I would vote for that shit 10 times like Joe Biden. I'll be harvesting ballots like a motherfucker.
We have a procedure, if you want to talk to us about employees, that we can go into
She's not an
executive
employee.
session.
I would like to have a
That was
board
Tiffany.
vote if we're going to do that, because
That was Tiffany.
I would like to have a board vote
Go,
if we're going to
Tiff.
do that, because we had the open meeting with our attorney, and anybody could search it, and they specifically stated that we can't, that's designating, sorry, I'm taking up some time. It's content of speech. We can't regulate content of speech unless it's FERPA, which we were told. I mean, that's in our special meeting from a couple weeks ago. So we can ask, and I think you did that, but I think we're going to get ourselves into legal troubles, and I would actually recommend us talking to our attorney before we say cut the mic and don't let somebody speak. I think we need clarity on that from our attorney, or pull up the
I thought it was in
video.
our policy that we weren't supposed to name names of employees, current or former from the district.
Or community members,
Or a specific.
or community
or a
members.
community
We don't
member.
attack
Yeah,
community
so
members.
Well, here's the thing. Look at Jacqueline smiling away, man. Look, man. She's over here going, I know something you don't know. She's waiting for it. She's like, please cut this mic. Do it. Do it. Oh my God, man. It would have been fire and brimstone. It would have been catastrophic for Menor schools if they would have done that. And that was on their agenda, by the way. Cutting the time allotted for community members to address the elected officials. Do you believe that they actually put that on the agenda? Not Annie, not Rose, but the three woke, well, Madam President did. So you mean to tell me you want to take away speech? And there's a 40-minute clip of them going round and round. And Miss Marchaza saying, well, this school over here does it, and bumfuck Egypt over here, they do it over here like this, and the two town halls, and and then you can ask questions here, and then but what if the parents can't speak because they have a babysitter issue? Talking in circles like a dog trying to catch his tail. It was ridiculous. And then we have Rose and Annie with the common sense going, it's a fucking law. It's policy. It's First Amendment. It's quite simple. And they just kept going round and round and round. It's like, my God, if I was your husband, I would run. I'm going to get a pack of cigarettes. I'll be right back. Like, seriously, you could tell that dude's balls are in her purse, man. It's fucked up. But I want to play this because Jacqueline I just love the smug look on her face. Like, bitch, I wish a motherfucker would. That right there, that's it. I could have simplified that. She's wearing the I wish a motherfucker would face right now.
Or a specific.
Or community
or a
members.
community
We don't
member.
attack
Yeah,
community
so-
members.
No, the time was paused.
So I guess, and also I didn't think we were supposed to talk about attorney recommendations.
That was in a public open meeting. It was like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it was
What's
in a work
up?
session.
Yeah, so we can talk
Gotcha.
about that.
Hello, Corey.
We could adjourn to.
Good evening,
executive
sir.
session, though.
Yeah, we could certainly adjourn to an executive session if you wanted to talk to us about that.
I first would like us to contact our attorney, because I think if we tell somebody they can't speak at the mic, my impression of what was told was that we could be held liable legally if we're regulating content of speech.
When we talked about, and we were talking about executive session, I thought she told us specifically.
Yeah, she said that was an
Yeah.
option, but
Right.
if somebody
Trying to
continued to
find it.
speak, we can't regulate their content of speech
But
unless it's
as
FERPA.
long as it's within our policy though, because.
But our policy doesn't align with the law, then.
I don't recall.
Oh, that was me.
I'm just saying,
Hmm.
I'm just saying, I don't think we want to make that decision unless we're ready to have a legal battle, because I know people will take it there.
Yeah, that's not how I understood it. I mean, I'm not trying to just go against the law. I understood that your speech at a meeting, excuse me,
Yes, please.
excuse me.
Yes,
Please stop
please.
speaking while we're having a meeting. We had,
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? The school board members, especially this freaking basket case on the end cap. Ugh. That's how she was the entire meeting, by the way. She was looking out of the windows, fixing her hair. Then she's like this. Like, this bitch looked exactly like, I don't want to be here. I don't give a shit if you pay me to be here or not. I don't care what any of you have to say. That audible, ugh. Oh, is it infuriating? It's infuriating. So watch her right here. When Mackenzie actually says, just let her speak. Excuse me. That's Maggie Cook in the bright yellow. And then this one on the end is like the bookend. Pardon me. Huh. You hoity-toity assholes. It's like, you could call a surgeon for that fucking knob that you have on your head, right? And while he's fixing that, or maybe that's just your devil horns popping out, while he's fixing those things, maybe you can request that he remove the stick that has been firmly planted up your ass for anybody and everybody you disagree with. It's the I disagree with everybody stick in the keister. Sure, there's a surgeon for that. Just want to play that again because I want you to see the demeanor of these elected officials acting like assholes. Amen, our schools. I would love to see letters of resignation because clearly they're compassionate about one thing. Well, yeah, no, one thing and one thing only: themselves, their ideologies, and that's fucking it. They don't care about the students. They sure as shit don't give a shit what the parents say. And they sure as shit don't care what any taxpayer says either. We're going to do whatever we want to do and you're whatever. Well, that doesn't get you very far in life. And your school levies ain't going to pass for shit because of your demeanor. And again, this is the second meeting I've been to. I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt because believe you me, I've heard horror stories about these three. And then I go in and I'm like, okay, let me see. And I'm seeing exactly what everybody said was true. That they vote only on what they believe in. And they shoot down anything and everybody who disagrees with them. So listen to this again. Is this how elected officials are supposed to act? Ugh. So I just want to highlight this. And listen up. Turn up your volume, please. Listen to this.
the law. I understood that your speech.
Hold on, let me back it up.
I mean, I'm not.
There.
Yeah,
So
that,
make that decision unless we're ready to have a legal battle because I know people will take it there.
yeah, that's not how I understood it. I mean, I'm not trying to just go against the law. I understood
Liar!
that your speech at a meeting, excuse me,
Yes, please.
excuse me.
Yes, please. Bitch, you sound like Napoleon fucking Dynamite. One more time. Yes, please. Vote for Pedro. Listen to her. Oh my God. Tell me y'all don't hear Napoleon Dynamite.
Excuse me,
Yes, please.
excuse me.
That should be a sound clip. That should be a sound clip. That sounds just like Napoleon Dynamite, man. I'm going to do it one more time for you guys. Bitch, oh, fucking shit.
At a meeting, excuse me,
Yes, please.
excuse me.
Yes, please. Did I do a good impression? Vote for Pedro.
Please stop speaking while we're having a meeting.
That was her. That was her. Ooh, girl, you ain't nothing. You're the same as you was in high school. You are still a raving bitch. That was her, Miss Napoleon Dynamite. One more time, man. One more time. One more time. This is an elected official.
Excuse me.
Yes, please.
Excuse me. Please stop speaking while we're having a meeting.
Watch her.
We
Ugh.
had,
Ugh.
my understanding was that we
Gavel.
could set parameters in our policy because speaking is a privilege at a meeting, that we don't need to allow any speech. And we have created a policy.
Excuse me?
And if they're within those parameters, then that's
The
what it
policy
is.
doesn't speak to that, though.
Ooh, give it up for Mr. Wade, who found his balls. Mr. Wade, congratulations, sir. Thank you for finding your balls and saying, the policy don't say that, bitch. That's what you get for trying to protect your whatever she is, that thing of yours, that thing that belongs on a fucking leash. Ugh, she's hideous. My God, if liberals had a poster child, she'd be it too. You should see her. Blah. She's gangly, she's homely, and she got teeth that look like chiclets. Probably because her face is so sunken in from all that. Her middle name is Bethany.
The policy doesn't speak to talking.
Bethany.
New policy does
Right,
not.
we took it out because we verified with
Okay.
legal when we made the policy that we can't do that. We can't regulate content of speech. We can regulate meeting the time that they are allowed to speak. We can regulate how much or whether we do it at all, but it has to be applied to everybody then.
I love you
Can't
guys.
say, oh, I don't like what she's bringing up, so she can't speak. But then Joe Schmo, he can get up to and talk about finances. It's all or nothing.
All or nothing,
Then I
baby.
stand corrected. So we're going to continue. I apologize.
What was that? A liberal finally admits they're wrong. Bitch, should I play the lottery? Should I play the There's like a snowball's chance in hell that you will ever see a liberal go, oh my, I was wrong. I stand corrected. My apologies. No, you know why she's apologizing? Because she knows damn well them lawsuits is a coming. Who's there? Lawsuit, bitches. That's why she apologized. But they're gonna finally let Jacqueline speak again. I think Jacqueline should have restarted, and they should have restarted her clock because they were so rude and they wouldn't let her speak. You should have reset the clock and let her say her whole speech uninterrupted. But you didn't. Because the protection of your devil friend meant more.
And please continue. And out of decency, I ask you to not speak about a fellow citizen, but
Fuck your decency.
it is your right.
That's right.
Last month, I, along with other community members and parents, brought forth concerns about her violating several board policies. We have filed record requests to see the exact violations that occurred prior to her release. But the part of the story that is most shocking is that you, Virginia Jessling, and you, Maggie Cook, both enthusiastically and loudly endorsed this woman as a school board candidate last year.
Yep.
Then you went on to vote for her to be hired as an employee. That goes directly against your policies of avoiding a conflict of interest or an appearance of one. And as long as we are throwing people under the bus, the Mentor Teachers Association, commonly referred to as the MTA, also endorsed Mrs. Wall for the school board. Last fall, when you people chose to make these endorsements, many of us were terribly befuddled. What qualifications and expertise does this person bring to a school district with a $120 million annual budget? She lasted a little over a month as an employee. I wonder how quickly she would have realized she was unable to fulfill the much more complicated duties of being a school board member. What were you and Ginny and Maggie thinking when you endorsed this woman for school board? You should be embarrassed and humiliated. And so should every MTA member who endorsed and voted for her. Many community members are losing respect for the district due to the terrible decisions like this being made. MTA, learn from this mistake and don't dabble into politics with our children. Stop endorsing and donating large amounts to liberal extreme leftist candidates while stating that you're not pushing political ideology on our children. We would like to see a letter from Ginny and Maggie stating that they will no longer endorse candidates. We will be sending the same request to the Mentor Teachers Association. That would be a good start to show the community you won't be using our children for political gain. Remember, a levy will be coming up and you'll need our support. The reserve open access library system and red traffic light systems proposed are absolutely ridiculous. You are essentially flagging children instead of
Yes.
inappropriate books and eliminating the ability to challenge these books and have them removed. Considering you no longer have numerous media specialists, the odds of inappropriate materials entering our library are quite significant. This proposed system is
Mhm.
unacceptable, and inappropriate books will not be tolerated in our school library. Parents and taxpayers deserve to be heard in all aspects of our schools in which we financially support and entrust our children. Unfortunately, members of this board have repeatedly ignored requests and questions from the public via email, forcing the public to address the board at these meetings. Any limits put upon the public's ability to address the board will ensure the failure of any upcoming levies. Thanks.
Yes! Woo! I mean, I should have left that clip go a little bit longer because the applause was deafening. It was just remarkable. I was so proud of anybody who stood up there and spoke at this meeting. I really am. Because you spoke from not only your heart, but with facts. And you also spoke on behalf of the children and what's best for them and for the people who didn't speak but showed up. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm coming to every one, and I will not stop until A, they resign, B, you get them books out of here. I would like to see both happen, honestly. I really would. Because, like Jacqueline said, you create a conflict of interest and you put your trust and you endorse this woman for school board with a school board budget of $120 million. And then, since I did win. Boo. Oh, it's okay, little leftist baby. We're going to put you in the schools as a teaching assistant. She couldn't even go a whole month. A whole month. And you think she would have been able to handle what goes on at school board meetings to know policies? Are you fucking kidding me? What is wrong with you? Mentor Teachers Association, shame on you. I will never again pay for any fundraisers or any bullshit to help you out. Do you understand me? Not a fucking dime, because clearly your judgment is askewed and you can't find your asshole from a hole in the wall. How dare you vote for people like that and endorse them, and then you fund their campaign by 10 grand? What is the matter with you? My God, I can't. I can't. And every one of these school board members, it clearly states nonpartisan, 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 nonpartisan. Bullshit. Bullshit. Because if you go to watch this school board meeting, you'll see exactly that they have zero ability whatsoever to be nonpartisan. They're very partisan, and it's for the left. And it's a damn shame because, Maggie, that's a position that you could excel at, but the public's perception of you is shot. Like, there is no coming back from this. Now, I found a part of this video where they are, I got to remember where it is, but they're talking about, like, they literally argued for 40 minutes and then some about the books being in schools. Two members were so easy. Dude, it's just not appropriate for children, period. All the other three, we have to be inclusive and we have to be all inclusive. Again, inclusivity excludes the majority of people who know that there is only two genders. It excludes the majority who don't see race as an issue. It's ridiculous. Inclusivity means to exclude everybody and anybody who doesn't agree with you. That's what inclusivity in DEI means. And DEI has no place in our schools when our kids are fucking failing, period. When you have kids in America today that can't fucking read, and you look at their school board and you go, so after COVID, all the schools were shut down. Then all of a sudden, this DEI woke bullshit was implemented while we were all locked down in our fucking homes like prisoners. You put all this bullshit in our school systems like we weren't going to fucking notice. Well, people depend on parents who don't parent their kids, that allow the tablets and the phones and social media influencers to raise their kids. They depend on that. Please be a better parent. If I ask you anything, please do that. Be that one. Be that one that stands up and goes, hey, this ain't right. It doesn't take a lot. I mean, going to school board meetings and stuff, it does take some time, but you don't even have to go. You can watch it online. You can submit emails from the comfort of your own home. But know what your school boards are doing, because it's mighty fishy that they waited until we were all locked in our homes to implement this. Under whom exactly? It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. And if we allow these Marxists, these Democrats who have literally bamboozled every one of us, no matter what we look like, no matter what social economic backgrounds we come from, if we allow them to bamboozle us anymore, and if we don't get Trump back in 2024, America will be gone. There will be no fight. I can't let that happen. I cannot, and I will not let that happen. You guys, this is probably and I've said this before, and I'll say it again until I'm blue in the face. Do you understand? Till I'm pushing up daisies. And then I'm going to come back and haunt y'all on a Ouija board like, bitch, vote for Trump. This is the most important election of our lifetime. It really is. And I don't give a shit about him calling Rosie O'Donnell a dog. I don't give a shit when he said, these women, just because of who you are, they let you grab them by the pee. I don't care about that. I cared that the unemployment rate was at its all-time low. Homeownership was at its all-time high with all communities, including the Black communities. Crime was down. Our economy was booming. Gasoline was cheap. Groceries were cheap. Our border was secure. There was no world wars going on. We were energy independent. I don't give a fuck about him saying that there are women out there that let you grab them by the pee, because it's fucking true. Shit. They'll let you grab it for a cigarette these days. All right, you guys, I got to roll out of here. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you again. Please, if you can, if you're in my area, come. Please come to the next school board meeting. I believe it's going to be, let me double check here. It'll be May. If it's the 7th, that's going to be a doozy, because I am not going to be home. I'll have to see. Hopefully they'll make it like the next week, but I don't know. It's usually the first Tuesday of every month. I might have to skip this one or watch it live from a really awesome place. But again, even if I miss one, I'll be at the next and the next and the next. This is not about black versus white. This is not left versus right. This is good versus evil. This is good versus bad. And if we don't get Trump back in there, we're going to be in a bad spot. One that we'll never come back from. All right, everybody. Thank you again. Thank you for all of the ladies and gentlemen who spoke at this meeting, man. You guys are rock stars. It took a lot of bravery to do that. Oh, real quickly, I wanted to show you something here. Miss Marchaza was really mad about the fact that the policy today, April 10th, says that the boys are no longer allowed in the girls' bathrooms. If you're born biological male on your birth certificate, it has to go by your birth certificate, what your birth certificate says. She was peeved about that. But while everybody was speaking at the end, something happened. There was a technical difficulty here. Okay. And it cut probably one of the most important speeches out of this meeting, right? And it was all right. Here, I want to show you. Yep, here's where it skips. I want to show you this really quickly, guys, before I go. I'm sorry. I'm sure you guys don't mind. I'm sure you guys don't mind. I want to show you guys this really quickly because this is very odd. It's very odd to me. What am I, the wrong one? Oh, yeah, share this tab instead. Okay. Yeah, I'm at the wrong one. Okay. Now, I don't know if they clipped this and went in and edited it. I'm going to look at the timestamp and see if that's the case. Because if that's the case, they got some splaining to do. Because this is about sex ed in the mentor schools. Okay, so I'm going to watch the clock here. 3:15:54.
Two documents, and one was the Ohio Revised Code 3313.6011, sex education in Ohio schools. And it's kind of funny considering all of this conversation. And the second was an analysis of audits for 22 and 23 conducted by the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce. So there were 607 Ohio schools who,
But not to the point where it is cutting
There it
time
is.
away from us. I promise you, if you take our voices away, you will never get a levy out of anybody in the school district. I want to thank you all tonight for listening to us and being there for our children. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Andrea,
Did you see that? Like, that literally skipped her whole speech and then took all of Mackenzie's second speech out. All right.
Andrea Bliss, 551.
Sorry, I forgot to do her address.
I was going to pass to save some time, but I decided that maybe we could just use some kindness. I just wanted to take a moment to thank Superintendent Heath and anyone else involved in making the decision to use a calamity day for yesterday's eclipse. I often tease my
Why you sitting up there? You couldn't just say thank you to them when you walked in or as you're walking out. Really? Thank you for using a calamity day. Ugh. I don't know how people walk out the house the way they do. It's quite disturbing. I'll show you my second speech after Susie what's her stuff.
Heath and Mr. Wade. This is late in coming, but
This is the guy with the Black Lives Matter stuff and the what you call it, the we already saw her. This was the Black History Month. There's Jacqueline. She waited till the last because it wasn't on the agenda, apparently.
It's 973 Yellowwood.
This guy. He's awesome. Oh no. Oh, I forgot Cindy. Don't go nowhere.
Good evening. Well, it's almost midnight. Just I have several things to say. To follow up on something someone said earlier, I have sent emails to the board asking questions the last 2 months and not received an answer from 3 of the board members, most particularly the president or vice president.
Pew, pew.
Further, your policy that you just cited was voted on by you. We, the public, are not subject to your policy unless our children if we have children in the school, then we are. Next, the people who have the courage to get up here, and trust me, it takes courage, deserve your undivided attention, not looking at the windows, not looking bored or at your fingers or making faces at each other, because I've witnessed that. They deserve your undivided attention. 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, the board voted to respond to questions asked during the public speaking portion of the meetings. 2 years ago, 18 months ago, whatever you want to call it, that happened 1 month. It has not been followed up on at all. I have asked questions at the meetings. Nobody, and I have gotten back up at the podium and asked again, and I still never got an answer the next month. So you have to follow your own policies. All right. The reason I really got up here was because April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. And I am very passionate about this. My husband was a CASA, a court-appointed special assistant in Geauga County, and he did they do a phenomenal job. But I was at a Lake County Commissioner meeting recently, and these are the statistics that I heard, and these are appalling. In the smallest county of Ohio, last year, there were over 1,500 reports of alleged child abuse. That's 1,500 in Lake County alone. There were more than 1,500 children involved in those allegations. That's 1,500 families. Abuse includes, but is not limited to, physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, child sexual exploitation and abuse, bullying, cyberbullying by peers and adults, emotional abuse, mutilation of the female genitalia, and child trafficking and child slavery. Mandated reporters of suspected abuse, including everybody at every level of education, from custodians to school board members to superintendents. If they don't report their suspicions, and they don't have to have firm information, they can lose their licenses. Thank you.
There you go. Good girl. I mean, that was absolutely amazing. Now, do you know what a CASA is? It's a caseworker that handles people that have been victims of abuse. It's like a victim's advocate. I had one when I was a kid, and she was amazing. So I applaud Cindy for having a stellar husband like that. I have a surprise, you guys. Mackenzie wants me to call. Maybe I should send her. Let me call her now. See if I can get her on FaceTime with you guys. My phone's about to die. Surprising. She said, call me during this. Oh, she'll answer. I hope she's not sleeping. She sent that text to me at like 9:30. Your call has been... All right. We must have missed her, but I promise you I will be bringing on a couple of amazing women from my community that are just utter... You think I'm a warrior. I know. I'm just the tip of the iceberg. You know, the iceberg, the 10% is above the water. Yeah, you see it, but what you don't see is the 90% that's underneath the water. And this is so important that you have people in your community that can rally with you, and you can fight this and prove that strength in numbers is a thing. And the more you show up and the more that you challenge them, the more that they see that they are outnumbered. Because believe it or not, these left-wing ideologues think that they are the majority. They are that convoluted and delusional that they think that they are the majority, but they're not. We far outnumber them. And you got to show up. You got to do it, you know, especially if you have kids in public schools, because let's face it, we can't afford that. You should be in bed right now. Get upstairs before I punish you and smack your butt. I ain't gonna do that. He knows it. Hey, you should be in bed. You don't police me. I'm your mother. Get upstairs. No TV. You're done. That's how you handle it. He knows I ain't going to spank him. This kid looks at me like, yeah, right. He's almost as big as me. He's fucking 6 years old. But I can't let him know that. I have to look tough. Because if you don't, they're going to walk all over you. Yeah. You see how worried he was. Yeah, sure, you're going to spank me. Okay, Mom. Okay. All right, you guys. So Mackenzie and Tiffany, my friend Tiffany, agreed to do podcast with me, and it's gonna be fun because I want you guys can have my perspective all day long, but I want to show you that it's not just me that sees this, right? It's not, and I want you to hear Tiffany's story because she has probably by far one of the most horrific accounts that has happened in this school district that I've ever heard. When I heard this about her daughter, my jaw hit the floor. Like, what? Because again, that shit never flied when I was there. And to see the way that they're behaving now, if you think this is bad, their behavior at the school board meeting is bad, just wait until you hear this. And I'll let her speak. I'll let her tell her story. It's horrific. I saw red for her, but yeah, I'll let you guys know when that'll be. But thank you guys so much. I have to go put my son to bed, back in bed, because he was in bed before I started streaming. But apparently, grandma's a pushover, like they all are. Are they all grandmas pushovers? I'll tell you what, my grandma, she told me to get to bed. I knew and get to bed. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you again. Thank you so much. And have a good evening. I will see you guys soon. All right. Bye, y'all. See ya.